Hello, Jennifer.
Hi Michael, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks. And you?
I'm fine too, thank you.
Are you planning to study abroad?
Yes, I'm thinking about studying at a university in the United States.
That's exciting. Why did you choose the US?
The US has some of the best universities in the world, and I think it will provide me with great opportunities.
Which universities are you applying to?
I'm applying to Harvard, MIT, Stanford, and a few others.
Wow, those are top universities. Have you decided on a major?
Yes, I'm planning to major in computer science.
That's a great field. Have you visited any of the campuses yet?
Not yet, but I plan to visit once I get accepted.
Do you know how the application process works?
Yes, I've been doing a lot of research. There's an online application, and I need to submit essays, transcripts, and recommendation letters.
How about standardized tests? Do you need to take the SAT or ACT?
Yes, I've already taken the SAT, and I did pretty well.
What about the TOEFL or IELTS for English proficiency?
I took the TOEFL and passed. Luckily, my English is good enough.
That's great. How long does it take to get the results from these tests?
It takes about 2 to 3 weeks for the SAT and TOEFL results.
Are you applying for scholarships?
Yes, I'm looking into scholarships and financial aid to help with the costs.
Studying in the US can be expensive, right?
Definitely, tuition, housing, and other expenses add up quickly.
How do you plan to cover all the costs?
I'm hoping for scholarships, and my parents are helping, too.
Do you know if international students can work while studying in the US?
Yes, I think international students can work part-time on campus.
Have you thought about where you'll live?
I'm considering living on campus in the dorms, at least for the first year.
That sounds like a good idea. It's probably easier to meet new people that way.
Yes, I think living on campus will help me adjust to life in the US.
Have you heard about culture shock? How do you plan to handle it?
I've read about it. I'll try to stay open-minded and keep in touch with family and friends back home.
What are you most excited about studying in the US?
I'm really excited about experiencing a new culture and improving my skills in my field.
Are you nervous about anything?
A little. I'm worried about adjusting to the academic system and making new friends.
I'm sure you'll be fine. Have you thought about what extracurricular activities you'll join?
Yes, I'm interested in joining a coding club or a student organization related to my major.
That's a great way to meet people with similar interests.
Exactly. I also want to explore different clubs and maybe try something new.
What's the application deadline for most US universities?
It depends, but most deadlines are between December and January.
Are you applying for early admission or regular decision?
I'm applying regular decision to most universities.
How long does it take to hear back after you apply?
Usually, it takes a few months. Most universities send their decisions by March or April.
What will you do if you don't get accepted into your top choice?
I have backup options, so I'll go to another university if necessary.
Have you started writing your application essays?
Yes, I've been working on them for a while. It's important to make them stand out.
What's the topic of your essay?
I'm writing about my passion for technology and how I want to use it to solve real-world problems.
That sounds impressive. Do you have anyone reviewing your essays?
Yes, I've asked my teacher and a friend to give me feedback.
Are the essays the most challenging part of the application process for you?
Yes, but preparing all the documents has been tough, too.
What documents do you need to submit?
I need to submit my transcripts, test scores, essays, and letters of recommendation.
How many recommendation letters do you need?
Most universities require 2 or 3 letters.
Who's writing your recommendations?
I've asked my math and computer science teachers to write them.
That sounds perfect. Do you think they'll write strong letters?
I hope so. They know me well, and I've done well in their classes.
Have you researched what life is like as an international student in the US?
Yes, I've read a lot about it. It seems like there are plenty of support services for international students.
That's good to know. What are you looking forward to most about living in the US?
I'm looking forward to exploring new cities, meeting new people, and trying American food.
Are there any specific places in the US you want to visit?
I'd love to visit New York City, San Francisco, and maybe the Grand Canyon.
Those are all amazing places. Have you thought about how you'll stay connected with your family?
Yes, I'll use video calls, emails, and social media to keep in touch.
That's a good plan. What do your parents think about you studying abroad?
They're very supportive, but they're also a bit nervous about me being so far away.
I can understand that. It's a big step.
Yes, it is, but they know it's a great opportunity for me.
Do you have any friends who are also planning to study in the US?
Yes, a few of my classmates are applying to US universities, too.
That's great. It'll be nice to have some familiar faces around.
Definitely. It's comforting to know I won't be completely alone.
What's one thing you think will be the hardest to adjust to in the US?
Maybe the different teaching styles and class structure.
I've heard classes in the US can be very interactive. Are you ready for that?
I think so. I'm looking forward to engaging in discussions and group projects.
Have you researched any of the professors at the universities you're applying to?
Yes, I've looked into a few. Some are doing really interesting research in AI and machine learning.
That's awesome. Are you planning to get involved in research while studying?
Absolutely. I want to gain hands-on experience and work with professors on cutting-edge projects.
That sounds like a great plan. Do you know how many classes you'll take each semester?
I think it's typically 4 or 5 classes per semester, depending on the program.
Person A. How long does it take to complete a degree in the US?
Most undergraduate programs take about 4 years to complete.
Do you plan to stay in the US after graduation, or will you return home?
I'm not sure yet. I might stay for a while if I get a job, but I'd eventually like to return home.
Have you looked into the visa requirements for studying in the US?
Yes, I'll need an F1 student visa, and I've already started the process.
How long does it take to get an F1 visa?
It can take a few weeks to a few months depending on the processing time.
What do you need to apply for the visa?
I need to provide my acceptance letter from the university, proof of financial support, and fill out an application form.
Do you have to attend an interview for the visa?
Yes, there's a visa interview at the U.S. Embassy that I'll have to attend.
What kinds of questions do they ask during the interview?
They ask about your study plans, why you chose the U.S., and how you plan to finance your education.
Are you nervous about the interview?
A little, but I've been preparing for it, so I think I'll be okay.
How do you prepare for the visa interview?
I've been practicing common interview questions and gathering all the necessary documents.
Have you had to deal with any challenges during the application process?
Yes, getting all the documents together and meeting deadlines has been stressful.
Do US universities offer support for international students?
Yes, most universities have international student offices that help with visas, housing, and adjusting to life on campus.
That's good to know. Are you going to participate in orientation for international students?
Yes, I think it will help me get familiar with the campus and meet other international students.
Have you considered how the time zone difference will affect you?
Yes, it'll take some getting used to. I'll be in a completely different time zone than my family and friends back home.
How will you manage jet lag when you first arrive?
I plan to adjust my sleep schedule before I leave and take it easy for the first few days.
Have you thought about health insurance while you're in the US?
Yes, many universities require international students to have health insurance, so I'll be signing up for a plan.
Do you need any vaccines before traveling to the US?
I've checked the requirements, and I'll need a few vaccinations before I can enroll.
How do you feel about making new friends in a new country?
I'm excited but also a bit nervous. It might take some time to adjust, but I'm sure I'll meet new people through classes and clubs.
Will you be homesick, do you think?
Probably at first, but I'm sure staying busy with schoolwork and activities will help.
Do you know if the academic system in the US is different from your country?
Yes, I've read that the grading system and class structure are a bit different. It's more interactive in the US.
Do you know if the academic system in the US is different from your country?
Yes, I've read that the grading system and class structure are a bit different. It's more interactive in the US.
Do you know if you'll need to buy textbooks?
Yes, textbooks are required for most classes, and they can be expensive, so I'll try to buy used ones or borrow from the library.
Have you thought about how you'll manage your time between studying and social activities?
I'm planning to make a schedule and prioritize my studies, but I'll also make time to explore and enjoy my experience.
Will you be traveling home during holidays?
Probably not every holiday since flights are expensive, but I'll try to go home for summer and winter breaks.
Do you need any specific permissions to leave and re-enter the US while studying?
Yes, I'll need to maintain my visa status and make sure my documents are up to date when I travel.
Have you thought about getting a US driver's license?
I'm considering it, but I might just rely on public transportation for now.
What's the public transportation like where you're going?
It depends on the city, but most universities are located in places with good bus or train systems.
Have you checked if the university offers any language support?
Yes, some universities offer English language support for international students, but I don't think I'll need it.
How will you handle your finances while living in the US?
I'm planning to open a local bank account once I get there, and I'll use my debit card for most purchases.
Are you planning to get a mobile phone plan in the US?
Yes, I'll need a US phone number, so I'm researching different mobile plans now.
Have you thought about how you'll adapt to the food in the US?
I'm looking forward to trying new foods, but I'll probably miss some dishes from home.
Will you be cooking for yourself, or eating on campus?
I'll probably do a bit of both. Most dorms have meal plans, but I'd like to cook sometimes, too.
Do you know if there are any cultural events or festivals near the university?
Yes, I've heard about some international festivals and events where students can share their cultures.
That sounds fun. Do you think you'll get involved in those events?
Definitely. It'll be a great way to meet people and celebrate different cultures.
What's your plan if you struggle with your coursework?
I'll reach out to professors and use campus resources like tutoring centers to get help.
Are you excited about joining any study groups?
Yes, study groups seem like a great way to stay on track and learn from others.
Do you know if there are any mentorship programs for international students?
Some universities offer peer mentoring programs, and I'm thinking about signing up for one.
That could be really helpful. What are you looking forward to the most?
I'm looking forward to new experiences, making lifelong friends, and gaining knowledge in my field.
That could be really helpful. What are you looking forward to the most?
I'm looking forward to new experiences, making lifelong friends, and gaining knowledge in my field.
Do you think this experience will change you?
I think so. Living and studying abroad will definitely help me grow as a person.
That's amazing. I wish you the best of luck with your studies in the US.
Thank you so much. I appreciate all the support.